Hey there, honey bunnies. Welcome to episode 94 of your Sovereign Storytellers podcast with your host, Michelle Wolf. Today's episode is Are you afraid of to be seen? Are you afraid of being seen? I'll have to play with which one sounds better. And this is for marketing, business, and also this can be influencing personal relationships. So as I'm talking about marketing and business, apply that to other areas of your life. Because being seen is speaking up, right? At the heart of it. It's saying what you want, claiming what you need, asking for it to be provided, stating your needs, not being a wallflower, right? So that's business. It's critical in business. But I would say it's critical in our personal relationships as well. If you want, reciprocal relationships, if you want to continue being the giver all the time and not having reciprocal relationships, then don't listen to this episode. Okay, so are you afraid to be seen? This is the most heartbreaking thing for me. I think it's heartbreaking for me because how sad that we're so worried that a video we made or a social media post or a blog post is going to create a backlash that, deep in our bones, we think we can't survive. Like we would just die of shame if people knew what we were actually thinking or what we actually thought instead of our carefully constructed persona. So this will happen. It happened yesterday, which made me think about it. This wonderful woman posted a video, did a live stream in my group, and it looked like it went on her personal page. This is not a criticism of her at all, because she's amazing and she'll get there. But she thought it went on her personal page and so deleted it. And I saw it go live, but at the time I wasn't able to stop what I was doing and listen to what she was saying, and I was disappointed that I missed it. Because she has good stuff to say. She's doing cool shit in the world. And it made my heart pinch at the worry that it was on her personal page. Now, I don't know what she said. And obviously, we're not going to post truly, deeply personal stuff. Well, I don't know. I guess it's for everybody's choice. But most people don't post truly vulnerable, deeply personal things on their public Facebook page. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. And so this isn't specific to her. It's a global topic. It just made me think, oh, I should do a podcast on that. This is where the podcast topics always come from. Somebody does something, I'm like, oh, it'll have a little podcasty zing to it. So now some people do, vomit all over their Facebook pages, and that is fine. I am a big fan of my Facebook page. I get to do what I want on it. And if I don't like what somebody does on it, I can unfriend and block them. That is not a problem. And there's been a lot of unfriending and blocking. And that's okay. And it's okay for you to do that too. In general, in my head, I treat Facebook pages as going into somebody's living room and listening to them talk about something. Sometimes I comment, sometimes I don't. But I treat it as being in somebody's living room of their house. Oh my God, there's a flying buggy thing in my recording studio / bathroom. I hope it's not a stinger kind. I don't actually recognize it. I don't want to swat it either. And I don't have a jar. I'm completely unprepared for flying potentially stingy things in my recording studio bathroom. Anyway, when you're afraid, so there's like a continuum, right? There's hanging everything out there, just like unzipping your guts and spilling them all over your Facebook living room, to being so tightly controlled that nobody actually knows what you really think about anything. These are the Facebook feeds that are just nothing but meme after meme. And I'm not criticizing this when I say nothing but they're nothing but meme after meme after meme. There's no opinions. There's no, it's like, it's fine. But if you're in business, it has to be a little bit different. If you want to be known for who you truly are, and let's throw in the caveat that who you truly are is a changeable beast. It is a fickle construct. We're always changing who we are. So let's say if you want to be known who you are, for who you are in this iteration of you as you, you're going to have to let people know what you think. You're going to have to post some potentially unpopular opinions. You're going to have to take the risk that somebody out there might think you're a chump, or might think you're, a lunatic or whatever. You're going to have to take that risk, because guess what? People will. People disagree with you. People think you're off target. People think you're saying it wrong, doing it wrong, are wrong. Okay, there's going to be noise in the background because I got to get that flying Jurassic Park sized bug out of my studio. So I'm going for the old mason jar and a piece of paper. Do you guys do that? Do you save bugs, or are you a swatter? No judgment. You can waste a lot of time saving bugs in mason jars, or you can just swat them. That's up to you. So, okay, people are going to disagree with you. They're going to judge you. That's what people do. And living in fear of that experience, which I think we live in fear of because we're raised to not rock the boat. But we also live in fear of that because we've done a really good job of making sure that that never happens. Right? So if it never happens to you, how can you get used to it? You can't. If you don't know what it's like to post something and get hammered for it, then how do you ever develop tolerance for that kind of risk taking? Ooh, I got him. I actually just saved him from a spider. He was heading for a spider web, and that spider was like, man, there's bugs everywhere. Hold on, I dropped the phone. Good Lord. Walk with me, talk with me, while I get flying bugs out of the bathroom and drop the phone on you. It's like you're here with me, right? Let's just treat it like that. I'm not a professional. I don't know what I'm doing. Walk with me while I take him outside. Or her. It could be a her stingy thing. The thing about being in business is you have to learn to tolerate some distress. Actually, a lot of distress. You have to be willing to jump into that cold, deep end of the swimming pool. You know it's going to hurt, and you know that you'll adapt, and you know that you'll be fine. You don't know that in the beginning. This is where you have to coach yourself or hire a coach to help you remember that, yeah, it's going to sting. Yeah, you may have to make some hard decisions about who has access to you. Yes, you might lose some friendships, and that's going to sting. But being in business is not for the faint of heart, right? And you're not. You might feel like you've got the vapors and you need to lay down with a cold rag on your head. But you're not fragile. You're strong, or you wouldn't even be contemplating that. Also, nothing wrong with being fragile. The business path isn't for everybody. There's nothing wrong with that. And if you're in business because someone else has talked you into it and it's not going well, you may need to reevaluate. You're going to have to market. How are people going to buy your things? One of the enduring pieces of advice I got from a coach I went to, Janelle Newell, was tell people every day how to pay you. You have to tell people every day, first, that you're there, and second, how to pay you, how to hire you, how to benefit from what glorious things you have at your disposal, your skills, your talents, your ability to help people see what they're missing, your ability to escort people through the shadow lands where they can pick up the pieces that they've scattered throughout their life from trauma and whatnot. That you can help people with copywriting and marketing and coaching and whatever it is you do, essential oil blends, whatever you do, jewelry, art, whatever your contribution to the world is, you don't get to disseminate that to the world if nobody knows where you are and nobody knows how to give you money in exchange for what the gifts that you will give them. They're not gifts because they had to buy them, but they're gifts to their life because you can't put a monetary value. How are you going to put a monetary value on something that changes someone's life? You can't. You put the dollar amount on it that seems right for the day and the market. But tell people every day how to pay you, how and where they can benefit from you, what you bring to the table. If you're afraid to be seen, I hate to tell you this, but you're just going to have to get out there and do it. You can't hypnotize yourself out of it. You can't chant yourself out of it. You can't, you can't shove enough crystals in your bra or in your pants pockets or wherever you might want to shove a crystal. You can't put enough crystals out there to decrease the fear. You can hang on to a crystal or something that will help you feel the fear and do it anyway. And that's what it comes down to. Sometimes fear and resistance is a stop sign and you need to stop and ask some questions. So maybe you are avoiding marketing because maybe you don't really want to be in business. Maybe you really haven't honed your skills and craft enough to be putting them out there for purchase. I can tell you almost 100% I would disagree with that assessment because I don't believe that most of the time. And then there's other times where you have to grab yourself by the scruff of the neck and just do the damn thing. And it sucks. I've shared many times how painful it was for me to get started on Periscope, live streaming. In 2015, I would sweat. I would want to throw up. I would cry afterward. Cry, like ugly cry. While all the negative voices shouted in my head. Oh, you look terrible on camera and you messed up. You couldn't remember the name of that. I used to get so embarrassed that I can't remember details or they're hard for me to remember, like titles of books, the names of an oil, the name of a person I heard a quote from that used to embarrass me so bad that I couldn't remember those things. They just don't stick in my head. And I had to get over that. I had to just say, I can't remember the damn name. Go to Google. Y'all have to figure it out because I can't remember. Those things just don't stick. I only have so much room in my head. I put another thing in there, something else pops out the other side. But I used to be really embarrassed about it because it used to make me feel really unprofessional, and it used to make me think I looked like I didn't know what the hell I was talking about. And sometimes I don't know what I'm talking about, but I generally tell you that. Right? So I had to get over that. I had to go through the horrible embarrassment and the self chewing on my bones, the self-criticism that I would heap upon myself when I would misquote something or misattribute a quote or forget a book title. Man, I used to beat the shit out of myself for that stuff. You're talking to me and seeing me 5 years later, almost 5 years. Yeah, June this year would be 5 years in this version of my business. I was trying to do stuff before that. 2011 is when I first started selling my art online. But you know what I mean? Like, I used to really suffer. I used to really create, self-inflicted suffering over stuff like that. If the camera popped out of the tripod and hit the ground, I would beat myself up for that, as if there was anything I could do about that. Sometimes cell phone cameras, the spring is so strong, especially on a new one, it eventually, over time, will pop the camera. The camera will fall out. Or I didn't put it in there right and it would fall out. And I used to beat the hell out of myself for that. So embarrassed. Okay? Unfortunately, I don't know a way around that. Now, somebody else may be teaching that you can do self-hypnosis or tap on it or whatever. I think you can do some things that make it easier. Like, probably if I had known that was going to happen to me, I could have done some EFT tapping or done some, little mini EMDR stuff that you can do, or done some guided visualizations or hypnosis or something that could have made it easier. But it's like you can't learn how to swim if you don't get in the water. And you can't prepare for what it's going to feel like because you can only imagine being in the water. If you've never been in water, how are you going to describe that? Well, it's wet. Well, what does that mean? Well, you're going to be floating and your feet can't touch the bottom, and that might be scary. Okay. You can't describe how it's going to feel. You can't step inside another person and say, hey, it's going to feel just like this, and here's what you can do. You can start kicking your feet. You can start, dog paddling your arms or whatever, right? You eventually just have to get in the pool. This marketing thing, this being seen thing, it hurts my heart because how terrible that we've made it. We've created a society where it's shameful to make a mistake. You can't just launch into an experiment and try something out because if you screw it up, you're going to be so ashamed of yourself. That starts in kindergarten. That starts at home even before that. You make a mistake and you're so shamed for it, chastised for it, punished for it, beaten for it, whatever happened to you. That now the thought of putting out a post that somebody might launch an attack on you for is it just stops people in their tracks. We can't have that because the world needs you. In my opinion, source energy is funneling through all these physical bodies running around here. If you have a gift or a talent that you are feeling an urge to express out in the world, and every time you do, your brain whips out the dream-smashing hammer and crushes you and stops you, over time that takes a toll on your body. It affects your immune system. It affects your mood, which then in turn affects your journey through life. It impacts your work. It impacts your relationships. It impacts your parenting. It impacts everything, this shame about being seen. Like we got caught with our naked, right? Everyone's worst dream is to be delivering a speech and look down in your dream and you're like buck naked. Oh my God in heaven. The horror. Right? The horror of being seen buck naked. Right? That's how we feel when we're starting to step into marketing and letting people know what we do. And every time something else comes through, I have to go through it all over again. When I started owning publicly that sometimes dead people show up in client sessions, and I tell them if they show up and that I was aware of that and they were showing up more and I can help them move on. I went through a whole nother round of that fear and shame and stuff. I don't know that it gets any better. I know that it gets a lot shorter. I can promise you that you might go through another round of, oh, I can't believe this. Being told I need to share this information. I don't want to. I'm embarrassed. I'm scared. I'm whatever. That doesn't last very long these days. Once I'm finally like, all right, I guess. Fuck. The things I say to repeated signs from my higher self that it's time to start speaking something publicly. I resist it for a while and I'm like, God damn it. All right. Shit. I'll put it. Okay. Shut up already. I'm doing it. Then I'll have a little bit of the shame and stuff. So it gets shorter, but I don't know. Maybe it goes away. Maybe there's things that will happen that I'll talk about in the future that I won't have to go through that at all. Right now it's very short. I squirm, I sweat. I don't cry anymore. I don't break into I don't freak out like I used to. So I think I can safely say it gets a lot shorter. It gets a lot better, just like jumping in a swimming pool does. The first time you do, it can be terrifying, especially if you don't know how to swim. Right? But after you do it a few times, let's say jumping off a diving board, man, that's scary as hell, especially if you're an adult when you first start that process. Shoo! Scary. Scary. All right? But you get over it. You just got to practice. That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling y'all. You just got to practice. You just got to do it. You don't have to go all full steam. You can start dropping hints that you're an energy worker. You can start showing pictures of your oracle cards. If you're a card person, you can start talking about essential oils and emotions and your intuition with essential oils or your artwork or whatever. You can start like giving little blips of it if your family doesn't know what you do. You can start writing little short blog posts or treat social media as a micro blog and do your blogging on social media for a while before you start a website or whatever. Or, that's if you're a person who likes to ease into things. It's helpful to know yourself. If you're a person that is just like, all right, this is going to suck. I'm just going to rip this Band-Aid off. I'm going to lay out a social media calendar for a month, and by damn, I'm going to show up and post every single day. And I'm going to tell the truth about what I'm doing. Your first week is going to be hellish. Hellish. It's going to suck so bad. But then it's going to be over. It's going to get better and better and better after that. Better and better and better. Whoops. Just dropped my ring. Better and better. Easier and easier. I swear it gets easier. So you do that. You get your guts up. You do that. And Aunt Myrtle's got something to say. Only she doesn't say it to you. She calls your mama. And says, have you seen what your daughter's posting? Have you seen that your daughter's saying that she's doing something with devil cards. Are you aware of that? So you might have to forewarn your mom and dad that you're going to start doing some stuff. Or it might be your mom and dad. What are you doing? What? I can't believe you just posted that. We don't talk like that. We don't do that stuff. And you'll say, well, yeah, actually we do because I'm here doing it. And then that's going to suck, right? There's no way to say it. I'm not going to tell you that it doesn't suck. It sucks. It's hard. But if this is what you want to do, if this is truly your dream, if you truly have something that you are feeling the push to get out into the world like birthing a baby, well, this is the process. Nobody tells you that birthing a baby is like baking a cake, because it ain't. It's hard. It's periodically horrible. You want to get away and escape, and you want to take it all back, but you can't. I know a lot of you are like that. You want to do this business because you have this thing that you're trying to birth, and the longer you hold it back, the more that energy builds up, and the more your body suffers with autoimmune type symptoms, with mood disorder-ish type experiences. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not a practicing therapist, okay? But that energy of holding back the river is exhausting. It also doesn't work. Eventually it will come flying out of your mouth, and then you won't have control over how it pops out. You'll be at a dinner party with a bunch of bankers, and all of a sudden you'll be saying, there's a dead guy standing by your left shoulder. I think it's your dad, and he's insisting on me telling you this, blah, blah, blah. Holy shit, what did I just do? Oh my God. All right, you don't want that. You don't want to go all Long Island medium at a meeting with a bunch of bankers who don't know that you're secretly a medium. Right? Please, don't set yourself up for that. It'll come out at the Thanksgiving table. It'll just come flying out of your mouth. It will. You can't hold it back forever. And you can make yourself real damn sick while you're trying to. And it makes me sad that we have to go through that. That's the part that makes me sad. How sad that we have been taught to hide. Hide our light, hide our sparkle, hide our joy, hide our gifts. We've been taught that so long that we have to go through a physically excruciating process in order to break through and get the word out. Damn, that sucks. That hurts. You hear that cat hollering? He's contributing. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks Mom won't let me in the bathroom when she's recording a podcast. I'm going to stand out here and yell about it. It's talk of the naughtiest cat in the world, in case you didn't know. All right, if you're afraid to be seen, get somebody to hold your hand. Find somebody who you can say, hey, I'm about to put a toe in that cold swimming pool. Will you please go like and comment on my post so I don't feel like I'm all alone? I utilize people for that. I tell people all the time, if you're about to do a live stream and it's your first one, line up friends and family that can be there on camera with you. You don't have to do it by yourself. Get those people who will lie to you and tell you that it was wonderful, even if it wasn't. Don't do that stuff by yourself. Get somebody to help you. Get someone to be there. Oh, I'm about to take this risk. You tell your friend. She'll be like, okay, I'm standing by. I'm ready to hit the like button. And you may have to say, don't share it yet. I'm not ready for that much. Take it slow. You don't have to be a rip the Band-Aid off type of person. Not everybody's like that. And there's no pro or con, good or bad to either method. It's just a personality style. Oops, sorry, that's probably pretty loud. It's just a temperament. Don't try to make yourself be what you're not. It's okay if you take 6 months to ease into being more truthful about who you are. You go at the speed you need to go at, but just please, for God's sake, go. Do something. Post something. Anything. A lot of people start by sharing other people's work that they really do too, but they aren't ready yet for Aunt Myrtle to find out. Okay? Lay out a plan, write it on paper, put it on your calendar, so that when you see the reminder, you're like, all right, here we go. Get yourself revved up, read some motivational stuff, reach out to a friend, hire a coach. If you have a coach, a lot of coaches, me included, provide, some Voxer support. You can leave a quick Vox. I'm about to do the thing. I need a pep talk, so your coach can do that for you. Okay? And just know that it's going to be horrible, and it does get better. It's going to suck, and then it sucks less, and then it's okay. It's still kind of sucky, but it gets better. But sitting around being scared is wearing you out, and holding back your gifts is exhausting your body, and we just can't do that anymore. Okay? If you're afraid to be seen, the only cure, you don't need another course. You don't need to ever buy another book if you don't want to. You just got to do it. You just got to start doing it. If you need help with that, and I strongly suggest that you are following your human design type strategy and authority, if you want help with figuring out your human design so that you aren't going opposite to what your energy requires to be seen, especially projectors, you can book a Human Design Foundation session, thatmichellewolf.com/human design. If you've already had a foundation session, but you need some coaching through a specific project like this, the single session is the same link. Just go to the same website, scroll down, it'll say Human Design Foundations or coaching session or something like that. You'll see it. If you don't see it, you can message me. If you want extended project support, I have an opening for a one-on-one client, but I also have a small group mastermind coming up that will be addressing these types of things. We'll provide you support from me and group support. That starts October 1st. It's not on the website, so you'll have to message me for that too. info@thatmichellewolf.com. Or if we're connected on Facebook or Instagram, you can shoot me a message. There's ways to get help around it, and also if you don't have the money to spare right now, you can do it yourself. There's no magic pill. You're not going to find something that's going to take it all away. You're just going to start doing whatever little bitty thing you can do. All right? And then be super, super kind to yourself. You already know you're going to criticize the hell out of whatever it is you do. Knowing that, plan for it. I know I'm going to criticize myself, so how am I going to counteract that? How am I going to build in some kindness? How long am I going to let the criticism go on before I decide to knock it off? Okay, prepare. If you're an adult learning to swim, you don't show up at the pool in hiking gear. You prepare. You show up in a swimsuit. If you need the little nosy clip thingies. I don't think they make grown-up water wings, but you might watch some YouTube videos about swimming. You would prepare. So treat this the same. This isn't mysterious stuff you can't learn. It's all learnable. You can learn anything. So get on out there and get started being seen. We need you. We're waiting for you. Until then, talk less, Think less. I forgot my own damn tagline. See? In the past, I would have beat myself up for that. Think less, feel more. Talk to you next time.